is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Friday, everybody. Stephanie Jones, fresh off a plane from Madagascar.
Yes.
Welcome.
Just to talk about what we're talking about next.
Yeah, it's important.
How
It
was it?
is.
Beautiful? Lovely this time of year?
Gorgeous. So lovely. Beats the cold and the fall weather, you know.
Listen, I do have to say we're here in Denver, Colorado. I wish I could freeze time right now, how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
All
it's
the
gorgeous.
trees,
Really nice.
perfect weather. I love it.
Fall is short, otherwise it'd be everybody's favorite season.
Oh,
Because
for
I feel like the fashion is the best. Love fall.
What a great Friday. All right, let's have some fun. We're going to start off with Britney Spears. She is dishing out more details about her dating life in her memoir that doesn't even come out till Tuesday. So Britney spilled the tea on her 2-week fling with Colin Farrell back in 2003, which she compared to a street fight because they were all over each other. But Britney confessed she was still not over Justin Timberlake at that time. Didn't stop her from getting in a street fight with Colin Farrell. Britney also revealed she was very drunk and bored when she married her childhood friend Jason Alexander in 2004. She said they were not in love and was surprised her family was so upset over some innocent fun like being married and perhaps
Yes.
half your assets being thrown out the window.
Right, yes.
Yeah, well, people don't think about that. Like, that's like the boring stuff, finances and legal things that, come back to
What
haunt
about the guy Jason? He seemed pretty bent out of shape.
He crashed her
Yeah,
wedding.
so it wasn't innocent fun.
Like this year, or was that last year? Whatever year.
Whichever one.
It was recent.
Yes.
It was recent.
And just before we move on, like, people need to know, don't do that. Don't crash the wedding. I know it looks good in movies, and it's
do
like
that.
very romantic, and like, she took him back, and she realized she's not going to. You're going to be arrested and embarrassed, so don't do that. But I feel like I don't know. I don't know about bringing these stories out.
Why not? She's been silenced for so long. Of course she deserves to tell her story.
Don't you think some things need to just rest, and they just were?
Well, you could say that about every single memoir, every single autobiography that's ever been released. You know, I think she deserves to tell her side of the story, and hey, people want to hear it.
We've been talking about this so much, and it really made me think about all of the different chapters of Britney as we knew her, because you had the very pretty, publicist version of it was squeaky clean when she was with Justin Timberlake, and then you started to hear some things like they tried to make her the villain in the equation. She became leaned into that. There was kind of this sex appeal, I'm a woman now thing going on, and then we saw a break. And once that break happened and she went under conservatorship, you started seeing Britney Spears became the original Instagram ruse, where there were so many horrible things happening behind the scenes, but on camera and on the grid, it still looked like it could be okay until she's finally able to say, this is what you missed, and this is how I got here. And I just think it's really important for people to have context to that.
How about the Colin Farrell aspect of it all? I mean, he turned out good in this aspect, I would think, right? Or should she not mention that at all?
We've all had a street fight person, okay?
Yes, I was going to say, I think it's
Everybody
representative.
can think of their street fight person, and we all understand what that means.
Yes.
Fair enough.
There's always one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys catch The Golden Bachelor last night? Erica definitely
I did.
If not, we got you covered, but this is a spoiler alert, okay? So during a pickleball battle for Gary's affection, it came out that Sandra was missing her own daughter's wedding on that very day. Well, Gary pulled her aside and insisted on a FaceTime call to her newlywed daughter and groom. It did pay off because Gary got shamed into giving Sandra a rose, but some fans weren't so pleased with her decision. One wrote, sorry, did Sandra just say that she's here on this silly television program instead of being at her daughter's wedding?
I take issue with the idea that Gary got shamed into giving Sandra a rose.
No, that was
I feel
shame.
like you've got
It is not
Shame.
Sandra is, first of all, a beautiful woman. She was the first one to really make him laugh, an unbridled laughter. She has a humor about her. He wasn't shamed into giving her a rose.
If he didn't give her that rose, he would not look great. Let's just say that.
I don't think that's the
He
reason
could put a positive spin on it and be like, I
why.
think he can still make the wedding. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Why?
I love that.
I'll tell you, I think I'm here for Sandra being all in on herself. I think that women from her generation, for the most part, generalizing, threw everything they were into being mothers, into sometimes giving up their careers, raising these children. Her daughter is now a grown woman who's getting married herself. And yes, that is her daughter's special day, but hasn't mom earned one really special day where the network cameras are there filming her playing pickleball? That's mom's day. Let mom have her day.
I love it. Now, I think who are we or who are the viewers to judge their own family dynamic between a mum and a daughter? And obviously they've sat down, they've had some kind of in-depth conversation about the fact like she won't be there.
How would you feel?
That's between them. It's not for, I didn't like the comment of the silly, she's a silly woman. I think that's really mean. It's none of her business. It's not her daughter. It's not their relationship, right? So
would you mind if this was your mom?
I would mind.
That's honest.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd rather you don't.
Wow. All right, Erica, what would you do? If this is Dr. Cobb and she's like, hey, I'm on
and I'm
Bachelor?
not saying this to say that one way is right and one way is wrong.
No, just
but
you.
like my mother would never have missed my wedding under any circumstances. But I'm also like, I have to tell my mother to be more selfish about her time and her resource, because everything, like, I'm 42 years old. You don't need to put your entire life on hold for me. I would like to see her do things like right now, my mama is kicking it in Panama.
Yes, but your wedding day. No, your wedding day. And she's like, I'm on the Golden Bachelor right now.
Right, but I'm just saying.
What would you tell her to do?
I wouldn't even understand that concept, because I would have to get my mom to go to do something for herself. So I don't understand it, but I don't judge Sandra and her daughter for that situation. And also, we saw the FaceTime with her daughter and her new husband, and they said that they had just done it, and it looked like it might have been more of like a casual affair. So maybe it's a situation where they got married legally, and then they're doing something bigger after, and we just didn't hear about it because it sounds more dramatic that she missed her daughter's wedding.
Yeah, I think different strokes for different folks, right? This is a long casting process, and they knew this was possibly coming up. So I'm sure they had that conversation. Ma, I want you to have your date. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So is getting married, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was her second or third wedding, and it's like, Ma, go do your thing.
Right.
But
Excuse me, the second wedding is very important too, okay?
I hear you, Erica, but if it's the second wedding, I'm like, buddy, I'm going to go on The Bachelor. Just being honest. We'd have that conversation. All right, Martha Stewart is getting real about age-appropriate fashion. During a recent event, she was asked about dressing for one's age. Well, Martha said she's dressed the same since she was 17 and said, quote, dressing for whose age? I don't think about age. I think people are more and more fabulous than they've ever been in their senior years. If you take a look at Martha's Instagram, you could see these looks that she's been rocking.
I mean, how gorgeous is she?
I don't know about, here's my problem with this. I think it's fine, and I think she looks fantastic. Yeah. But when you say like more fabulous, you're really not allowed to critique when you use those particular words.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm
it's
saying?
framed like that. But I agree with her. But, you know, the only time I take issue with this is when you see, like, there's sometimes when women are hanging out with their daughters and there's a natural competition there, and they're at a bar and they're kind of dressed the same cowboy hat, Daisy. They're like literally wearing matching outfits.
That's embarrassing.
And it's so obvious you're competing with your. That's the only time where I'm like, that's not a great look. But Martha looked super dope.
She looked great. She looked great.
Y'all always bring up that example. For the life of me, I don't know why it bothers you so bad. But this is what I do want to say.
Because you're in spring break.
Out of those 5 looks, out of the 5 looks that she is wearing it, how old is Martha?
71, I think.
Yeah, I own 2 of those.
But those are great looks.
I wish I owned them.
I own 2 of those. I did a shoot in the first one.
82.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then that Veronica beard. Yeah, that one.
Love that.
I have, and then, or I wore for a shoot, and then that one I have in my closet.
I mean, I think she looks stunning.
It's absolutely, I don't think that's
a great example of age appropriate, because she looks fantastic.
But let's be honest, Martha Stewart's got a hell of a lot more money than most people. True. And she will have a full team that's like, I'm sure maybe she did go out and buy that stuff herself, maybe she's got a stylist. Either way, she looks absolutely incredible.
What if someone described your look and they're like, oh, you look fabulous?
I think that's really nice.
I think that's a cover-up for you don't look great, but you look fabulous. Do you hear what I'm saying, Al?
Yeah, Jeff, you're living your best life.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
What are you talking about?
When you use the word you look fabulous, you don't look good.
That's not true. And absolutely,
Does anyone know what I'm saying?
Has a stylist.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Al's with me.
I don't
Al's
know.
with me.
You are the two least qualified people to talk about this at this table. Okay.
I'm a very socially aware person. When someone's like, fabulous.
I think they're so excited. They're loving it. What? That is such a positive, happy word.
It's not. You would say,
It's
oh
fake
man, you look
positive.
so good. Way to go. That's how you would
is
say.
better
Way
than fabulous.
to go.
If you say fabulous, it's a cover-up for,
If my fiancé said to me,
I
you
support
look so
everything
good,
you
way
do,
to
but
go, I'd be furious.
If I go, Jeff, you look
Way to
great.
go.
You look like you don't care what anybody thinks. You're living your best life. That's not a compliment on his outfit. That's just saying like he's being brave by wearing it.
No.
Y'all
We win.
are the
You'll
least
see. I'll use an
qualified to have
example
this
later in the show.
conversation.
I don't even know what's coming up, but I'm going to use the word fabulous, and you're going to see what I'm saying. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary. Does he regret passing up any pitches from the show? And Nelly surprises Ashanti with a big birthday gift. Erica's going to break it down in her segment, what Erica's watching. I'm sticking with my fabulous theory. I think when people are like, you look fabulous, it's like, I support everything you do, but you look crazy. That's what I think.
Okay, I'm gonna give I think they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I'm gonna give a tip based on what Steph said about Martha Stewart having a stylist. So the best piece of advice in terms of money, like management, was to hire a stylist. Now that sounds like something only rich people can do, but that's not true. If you have a friend who's like super into shopping, fashion, stuff like that, you can put them on a W-9. They can do all of your shopping for you. You pay them for their time and your actual clothing, and you write off the total
Or
in
you
that.
can pay them with a handle of Kettle One vodka.
Right, no.
And whatever
So
else they
what
need to
happens
get through
is,
Friday night.
so for people,
That's how friends
I'm
do it.
being really serious. So
I am
for
too.
people who are,
That's how I pay my
for
mechanic.
people who are doing like you have to buy a lot of clothes for work and it gets very expensive, this is a really good way that maybe you spend about 10 to 15% more and you can write it off, because you can't just write clothes off to the IRS. You have to do it in a certain way, and this is like one of the biggest money savers. So even people who aren't necessarily rich can have a stylist.
Or, and if that sounds like a little bit too much, if you're not in the W-9 world, Nordstrom. Check out your local Nordstrom. They have beauty stylists there that will pick out
write it
clothes.
off.
You can't write it off.
Yeah, you can't
write off Stitch Fix. Though.
No, you can't.
I thought you could.
No, so this is something a lot of people think. Rent the Runway, Stitch Fix, all of these things. Or if you're going to like a special event, you think that you can write it off. It will be flagged by the IRS. So I'm telling you, this is the most tried and true way, and it can save you, like it saved me about 20 to 25%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Shannon Sharp is serving face. Would you turn down dinner with Jay-Z? And Nelly surprises Ashanti in this week's What Erica's Watching. Now, many of us can appreciate some good glam, but maybe not when you're one of the greatest football players of all time, like Shannon Sharp. Well, a makeup artist for ESPN went above and beyond to make his melanin pop on camera. So much so that the internet exploded with jokes. He even joined the roast.
You know when they say your boy be casket clean? I mean, literally.
Right.
You had your boy like he was in the casket.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It looks okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? When they say casket clean, she took it to a literal interpretation.
You know he was sitting pretty until someone said something, or until his face started to melt. Because somebody said, "Who did the body?" That was hilarious. Hilarious. Next, social media is back on the ongoing debate about, would you choose $500,000 or rather have dinner with one of the greatest rappers of all time, Jay-Z? Well, recently this happened. A fan told Hov right to his face he'd take the bag, and Jay-Z's reaction is priceless.
Hey, Hov, I'm taking that $500K. I ain't taking that dinner, I'm taking that 500K. You feel me? Hey, it's love though, you feel me? Yep.
Now, although Jay-Z looks a little miffed, I'd take the money too and instead throw a fancy dinner party like I was Beyonce, but for a fraction of the cost. And finally, Nelly hasn't stopped smiling since he and Ashanti rekindled their classic hip-hop and R&B romance. Well, they're back together after a decade, and he recently surprised her for her 43rd birthday with iced out jewelry. They're both happy and surprised that they found their way back to each other after all of this time. So happy birthday, Ashanti. I love this for you, sis.
I just wanna take it nice and slow.
Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
'Tis the season for a holiday feast, and while there are a lot of great blogs, pages, and posts that offer up recipes, some just want you to heat up a hoax. So how do you spot these fake pages? Let's get the facts. Our source is Alex Hammerstone, Advisory Solutions Director at Trusted Sec, a cybersecurity company, and Scam Advisor, a website that helps point out scam websites. Hammerstone tells us that many of these pages are on social media like Facebook.
When a page becomes popular and it has a lot of people that are sharing it, has a lot of followers, a lot of interaction, people begin to trust that.
Usually these posts will show a recipe and ask you to comment or share so they can gain more interaction, which puts their post in front of more people. Scam Advisor says these pages will plagiarize from recipe blogs and use food images from the internet to drive traffic to shady blogs.
The site itself can then, once it has an audience built up, be used to then distribute, malware or used for scamming or things like that.
For example, this one named Old Fashioned Recipe claims to be located in Louisville, Kentucky. But if you look at the people who manage the site, they're actually in a foreign country, Morocco. Several reviews on this page also warn users that it's a spam site, saying that it's clickbait and doesn't bring you real recipes.
These large sites like Facebook, they have a lot of protections built in. They have a lot of employees. They think about security a lot. And so keep in mind, scammers will always want to get you off of that platform.
Now, not all recipe pages on social media are scam sites, but Hammerstone says to trust your gut, look at everything on the page before clicking on a link and read the reviews. And if something feels sketchy, don't click on it. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we spoke to Kevin O'Leary, who might be known as Mr. Wonderful, but he's gained a reputation for biting hard at the dreams of entrepreneurs on Shark Tank. Take a look. Please welcome back to DBL, Kevin O'Leary.
Great to be here. Thank you.
What's up, man?
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you. Now, Shark Tank's Halloween episode airs next Friday. So have you ever regretted biting too hard at someone's pitch?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Well, that was a quick answer. But has anyone you've scolded ever come back to prove you wrong?
The thing is, I'm the only shark that tells the truth. I mean, that shouldn't make me the mean shark. I always find it disingenuous when Barbara or Lori says, "Oh, kumbaya, you keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to give you any money because your idea sucks, but I think you should just keep going on losing money and spending your hard-earned pay and wiping out your parents' mortgage." Like, that's nuts. I'd rather say your idea sucks and you should try something else because it's the truth. Get over it.
He takes that very warm, fuzzy approach.
I prefer that.
No, a lot of people prefer that. I want to get your opinion on this. I've been waiting all day. Donald Trump is in the middle of a civil trial for fraud, which could threaten his business empire, which a lot in New York. I'd love to know if Mr. Wonderful would call Donald Trump a good businessman.
I think the whole Trump situation is remarkable because it seems to be disconnected from the polls. No matter how many indictments this guy gets, it doesn't seem to affect what's going on in his and how popular he is towards this next election cycle. There's never been a situation like this before. I've never seen anything like it. And I don't well, my question is, what happens, and I have no idea what the outcome is going to be, but what happens if he does become president? Do they just stay all this litigation till his term is over? I mean, it's kind of bad for the U.S. brand to throw the president in jail. I mean, this is so crazy. I think everybody's got the same question. What is going on here? Because I would have assumed on the first set of indictments that would have been the end of this run. Boy, was I ever wrong about that.
I feel like people in this country get two messages. People tell you, be practical, buy within your means, but you also hear dream big, go for it. So in your opinion, which is more important?
You know, here's what we've learned on 15 years of Shark Tank. We make deals each year, and let's say I do 15 deals. I'm sure that 3 or 4 of them are going to be just huge hits, and the rest are going to be dogs 5 years later. The problem is I don't know which ones. And even though I think I do, I don't. Just take the first step. That's the whole point. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, get out there and do it. The outcome, I have no idea what's going to happen to you. If I invest in you, I want you to win, obviously, but you don't know either. It's just the craziest thing, you know. In other words, it's not a destination, it's a journey, and once in a while I make a ton of money. It pays for all the mistakes.
That's the best kind of journey.
Yeah, and his smile on his face says it all right, out of the frying pan into the fire, we got some more hard-hitting questions. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's relationship has been plastered all over the tabloids, but you're a marketing guy. You enjoy a good marketing campaign. In your opinion, what impact of their relationship, or what's the impact their relationship has on the U.S. economy?
Well, it definitely has. It has a huge impact on Fanatics sales. I mean, Mike Rubin was a guest shark on Shark Tank. I started to understand his business. This kind of stuff drives T-shirt sales, drives hoodies, drives hats, you name it. And that's a big business. That's a multi-billion-dollar business. Now, if Taylor Swift isn't the best marketer I've ever seen, I don't know who is.
Right.
I mean, she just keeps milking it in every direction she can get it. And remember, that's an all-income business. She's taxed at 52%, less 15% for her agents. So she's got to do a lot of tap dancing to make real money.
Did we just hear Kevin O'Leary's a Swiftie? I think so. Yay! It's going viral. Just kidding, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Anybody who makes some money, he's a fan.
Yeah, I think he sees the value there. DBL Nation, watch season 15 of Shark Tank. It is every Friday, and make sure to catch their Halloween special, Sharkoween, next Friday on ABC. Kevin, thank you so much again. We will be right back.
By the way, I'm going to disclose on that show the truth. I'm coming out of the coffin. Yes, I am a vampire.
Ooh. You hear it here first.
Do yourself a favor and come over and look at this. My sweet pups just snoozing the day away. I spend a lot of time thinking about them, but do they spend as much time thinking of me? That's the claim in viral posts on Instagram touting new research that supposedly proves dogs often dream of their owners. Let's verify. To dig into this one, we looked at some of the leading scientific research on the topic, and many of the claims cite an interview of Dr. Deidre Barrett, Harvard Medical School psychologist, in People magazine online. Here's what she says, quote, "Humans dream about the same things they're interested in by day. There's no reason to think animals are any different. Since dogs are generally extremely attached to their human owners, it's likely your dog is dreaming of your face, your smell, and of pleasing or annoying you." But that's really just an educated guess. We weren't able to get a hold of Dr. Barrett for this story, but we did look into what else we know about dog dreams and spoke with Dr. Stanley Corin, who's written books on the topic.
Because we want to know as much as we can about our dogs and what they're thinking. It's not going to change the universe, but it helps us to understand.
Research on rats has found the animals replay the events of their day in their dreams, and Dr. Corin says researchers agree this likely applies to dogs as well. He cites additional experiments that conclude dogs dream of very specific activities from their waking hours, pointing, digging, retrieving, for example.
You're not going to find any research study which says your dog is dreaming about Abby. There is research which shows that just like human beings, animals sort of replay events of the day as part of their dreams. then in fact, Abby's dogs can be dreaming about Abby. I mean, but it's a leap of faith.
So while we cannot verify that your dogs are dreaming about you, like the posts claim, since there's no data to back that up, we also can't verify they're not dreaming about you either. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Halloween candy shopping might be more trick than treat this year. Let's connect the dots. The key ingredient to candy is, of course, sugar. Well, right now, there is a massive sugar shortage affecting some of the U.S.'s biggest sugar companies, putting a major strain on supply. So far, the jump from prices last year to this year is the biggest it's ever been in a one-year span. And right now, there is no sign that trend is going to change. And there's even more bad news for the chocolate lovers out there. Cocoa prices are going through the roof after supply chain issues and an ongoing drought. There is some good news though. Some of your favorite candy makers like Hershey say while candy may be more expensive this year, there should be plenty to go around through the holidays. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. We all love a good DIY project, at least I do, but there are some bathroom projects that could make your life a lot easier if you let a professional take care of it. We're talking about in today's tips, sponsored by Jacuzzi. First, plumbing. While changing fixtures are a little bit easier when it comes to the actual pipes in your walls, don't even try it, trust me. Next, ventilation. If you're trying to do this yourself, you could actually end up with mold in your bathroom if you make a mistake. You definitely do not want that. And of course, always have a professional deal with your electrical system. Many of these trades come with licenses and certifications for a reason. If you want to start your remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it in the right way. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Visit jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-990-6834. We just had a friend recently that had mold in their house.
Right.
That is a complete tear down.
Yes.
You do not want that.
Yeah. In terms of trying to sell and having to disclose, that's really expensive.
Yeah. And just the human
time.
aspect. I had a good friend of mine. He's a pretty well-known actor and comedian, and he was in an apartment with mold, and he was sick for years, and he couldn't figure out what was going on.
Look at Britney Murphy. It's so serious.
Oh yeah.
Is that what happened to her?
Yeah, she was incredibly sick with some mold. Yeah.
What a way to kick off the weekend. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you Monday.